Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Finished up our on the field preparation today, and really good week. I mean, again, even though we haven't got the results that we've wanted the last two games, last 3 weeks, our guys have been resilient. They've responded. They've done what we've asked them to do. This was a physical, intense week of practice, and we really challenged them a little bit more, probably Tuesday and Wednesday than in past weeks, just with the better numbers at practice, able to do that a little bit. And the guys responded, and they worked extremely hard. And I feel confident that our guys are going to play better Saturday night than maybe we did the last two games. So excited to see that. Really excited to get back to Ray J, where we're undefeated on the season, 1-0. So we're looking forward to keeping that going. And I know our players are really excited to have fans at the game Saturday night. I told our team yesterday that I believe we had double the ticket requests from our students than what we initially had allotted for the students. And that really got our players excited about that. So I'm looking forward to a great environment back in Ray J, and be able to have success and get some momentum back from where we were at the beginning of the year. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
All right, please raise your hand if you have a question. Go ahead, Leo.
Coach, looking at what you have facing you, East Carolina's kind of in the same situation you are. They're trying to get their program back on track. How important is this win to Saturday night?
Yeah, well, obviously they're all important. The big thing I told our players is, East Carolina's a dangerous team. You turn on the tape and, you see what they did in their first game against Central Florida. I mean, really for two quarters, the first two quarters, and then the fourth quarter, they had a lot of success. And, they've lost their last two games, just like we've lost our last two games. I know Coach Houston and his staff are great coaches. They're going to have their guys ready. And anytime that you have your back against the wall, they're going to respond. And so, I told our guys we need to be ready to play our best game, because I feel very confident that East Carolina's going to play their best game Saturday night. And I think it's for where we both are right now. I know they're still a year ahead of us as far as the new coaching change and all that. But for where we are this year, this game is very important early in the year to both teams. And really the momentum that a win could bring Saturday night could really have a positive impact on the remaining season that's left in front of us.
Joey Knight.
Jeff, is there an opportunity for Leo Parker on Saturday, not just because of the way he can run, but just his ability in pass protection?
Yeah, Leo is one of our bigger backs. I think he's probably the biggest back that we have right now. And Leo got off to a slow start, in fall camp, and got banged up a little bit and just wasn't quite where he needed to be. So he's been on the scout team for about 4 weeks, and then got brought up last week and got an opportunity at the end of the game. But he's been with us all week with the varsity, practicing with those guys. And, there's no doubt that his size could help in some pass protection. He's still, he's 4 weeks behind the other guys as far as, just knowing what to do and what we're asking him to do. But there is an opportunity that he could play in this game.
Leo?
Coach, normally when you have a situation, you've got people on your staff that has been through it. You can pick up the phone and call 20 other coaches that have been through it. Nobody's been through this. How hard is it on you and your staff actually going out and there's no light at the end of the tunnel? You're just basically groping in the dark. How difficult is that?
It's challenging for sure. When you look at it over the last 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, there is nothing like it. But when you look at it over the last 10 months, it looks the same. So I think from kind of where we are, and as coaches, you have a very narrow focus when you're in the season, and literally usually day by day and test by test and hour by hour. So, there's no doubt that it's a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody, right? All levels of football, NFL, college, high school. There's challenges. But, I think for us, it's just we've kind of accepted that this is at least what 2020 is going to look like. And the earlier you can understand that and continue to move forward and try to have a positive attitude. I mean, I'm disappointed with what our record is after 3 games, but I'm very pleased with how our staff and how our players have handled themselves the last 10 months, since I got here, and really, I guess, the last 7 months since we've been dealing with the pandemic. They've really done a great job and responded very well during some unprecedented times.
Joey Knight?
Jeff, you mentioned to us the other day that your quarterbacks, you saw a little movement at quarterback after Tuesday's practice. Have you seen more movement since then?
Yes. I'm obviously not going to talk about names and orders and all that as we go here. Hopefully everybody in the future, one of these weeks, hopefully everybody knows who our starting quarterback is going to be and even who the second quarterback is going to be. That would actually be a good scenario. But right now we'll continue to keep that close to our vest until we get out there. But the young man that started 4th in the week is now 2nd going into the game because he's earned that opportunity by how he's practiced all week long. There has been a little bit of shuffling with those guys. And, whoever we send out there first, we're going to give them an opportunity to go out and play well. And if they do, then they may continue to play the whole game. If we're not satisfied with how they play early on, then we won't be scared to go to the next guy until we can find the rhythm that we need to move the ball and have the success that I feel like we're capable of having on offense.
Will Turner?
Coach, Tyler Snead obviously does a lot for East Carolina. He's their leading receiver, had 111 yards last week against Georgia State. But what he does really well is special teams. Obviously had a 100-yard kick return against USF last year. You're coming off a week where you gave up a kick return for a touchdown. How important is it going to be for your team to contain and be solid in special teams, especially the kick returning game?
Yeah, no, that special teams has been a huge focus. Like I said, I felt like our defense really took a step forward last week, and I feel like our offense and special teams are behind where we need to be playing winning football right now. And there's several areas, obviously, in special teams that we must improve, and we've worked hard this week. And kickoff coverage is one of those groups. I think it's the consistency of getting guys, and thank goodness so far through today, we've been able to have the same group out there on kickoff coverage all week long, working on that and improving. But there's no doubt he's a dangerous player on offense. I think he's their best playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. So I know our defensive guys have seen plenty of tape on him, and then he's a weapon, like you said, at kickoff return. I mean, they're going to obviously watch the tape, and the very first return, they're going to challenge back to the field. That's a guarantee. They're going to make sure that we've gotten it fixed. And so that's our job to do that. And, I feel that our guys have improved this week in what we're asking them to do. And, I expect to see that improve Saturday night.
Grace Remington?
Hi, Coach. I'm sure you're sick of talking about quarterbacks now, but I was just wondering, do you have a new deadline on naming a starter? Because I know that was going to be the Cincinnati game. Obviously, the schedule got all messed up, but is there a new deadline now?
There is not a new deadline. That's probably a rookie coaching mistake to go out. And I knew when I said it back in August, I knew whenever I said the 4th game that anytime you're going into an unknown and you set something as as a guide that it probably wasn't going to happen. But I mean, I just wanted to be transparent and honest, and that's what I told our players and what I told Charlie Weiss, that that was kind of our goal. And so I shared that with everybody. But there's not. I mean, my hope, the best case scenario, is that after the game we had a quarterback play very, very well, and we could say, hey, based off what we saw today, he's our starting quarterback. And so that would. My new deadline is ASAP, I guess I should say. So as soon as possible would be the ideal situation. And, there's hope in that. I really, it could be a scenario where I just was not confident at all in any of the guys, and that's not the case. We're close. I really do believe that we're close to getting to that point. We just got to play consistently on the field, and hopefully maybe getting some offensive line back, get some consistency at the receiver position and what we're asking them to do. All those things play into that as well. So, I'm optimistic that it's going to be sooner than later, but there's not a hard deadline that we've been talking to the guys about moving forward.
Go ahead, Trace. You got to follow up. Go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. I wanted to ask about Johnny Ford as well, because he seems to be one of the most dynamic players on the team. What can he do to kind of help with setting up the play action, and just, I guess, what have you seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's done a great job. I think through 3 games, what he's done on offense and special teams, he's putting himself into a position to be one of our top playmakers. Whenever I got here, Johnny was 1 foot out the door, and I think the fact that a new coach came in and he got a fresh start probably helped him, because he was very, very close to not being here. And at the end of the day, I've got to give him the credit, because all I did was set the expectation and let him know exactly what it's going to have to look like in a lot of different areas in his life for him to be here. And to this point, he has made a lot of progress. So I'm really proud. I'm actually more proud of what he's done off the field right now than even what he's done on the field. So I think that would tell everybody how well he's done off the field, because he's done a good job so far. I think for him, consistency, like our other backs, pass protection, he's got to improve in that. And that's probably one of the biggest areas for all the guys, but specifically with him is pass protection. But, I mean, he's a guy that we're going to continue to find ways to get the ball in his hands, because anytime he touches it, he's got an opportunity to score. I've kind of challenged him that, he's had a long run on offense against Notre Dame, and then had the kickoff return versus Cincinnati, and kind of challenged him. He needs to be a 100-meter guy and not a 70-meter guy, so we can get in that end zone. But, I'm really pleased with what he's done on the field and off the field, and I would expect him to be a big part of what we're going to do Saturday night.
All right, Leo.
Coach, I know this is a very short sample size, but after 3 games, what's your biggest positive and biggest negative?
Man, positive and negative, those are tough words to use right now in 2020. I think I would say the biggest positive is how our players have bought into the new culture and to the new expectations and what we've asked them to do off the field and even on the practice field. I think that really is a positive. Coming in, I probably thought that there'd be a lot more challenges to our culture and what we're asking them to do accountability-wise than where we've been. So, I'm really the arrow's pointing up as far as the guys doing what we're asking them to do off the field and just the little things in meetings and expectations. And then, the biggest negative would be self-inflicted wounds. I think that, anytime that we're playing, we want to make sure that we don't beat ourselves. That's something that I want our program to be known for, is that, hey, we're not going to beat ourselves. We're not going to snap the ball over the punter's head. We're not going to throw 5 interceptions. We're not going to, allow a kickoff return for a touchdown. Things that we can control based off of being disciplined and doing what we're asked to do. That's probably the biggest negative right now. And obviously, I don't want to take anything away from the other teams and what they did. Obviously, they had to make the play, and we played some good teams. But, I think there's still a lot of things that we can control, and we haven't done a great job of that yet. And that'll be a big part of, turning the tide a little bit and getting us in that win column, is to take advantage of not doing that Saturday night.
Will?
You mentioned the self-inflicted wounds, and obviously you mentioned after the I think it was the first scrimmage, about how you had a ton of pre-snap penalties, about the penalty problem, which was a huge problem last year. But you guys are tied for 9th in the country in terms of fewest penalties per game. What did you guys do to kind of flip that script? And, how pleased have you been to see just the progression?
We did a lot of up downs. I would say that anytime that we had a guy jump off sides in practice, we stopped what we did and had everybody on that side of the ball start doing up downs, just to make a little bit extra reminder and make a high importance in that area. And we did hire some officials, I think local high school officials in the area, to come over to practice several days a week to be able to call out the penalties. Because sometimes as coaches we get so busy coaching scheme and looking for things that we need somebody there to do that. So I think that presence has helped. And then, I also would say this, what I said earlier about a change of culture and discipline off the field. There's a correlation to that. When, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that's a big message within our program is, if you're going to show up 5 minutes late to tutoring, you're going to turn your computer on 5 minutes late for tutoring now in 2020, then guess what? You're going to jump off sides. It's either you either have discipline in your life and everything you do, or you don't have any. And so I think the guys have done a really good job of buying into that, to the accountability. I would also give credit to Coach Tremaine Carroll, our head strength coach, and our strength staff does a great job of really doing just that, holding the guys accountable in the weight room and all the things off the field. So I think it becomes a culture of accountability, and that carries over on game day. And so hopefully we can continue to eliminate those pre-snap penalties and minimize the penalties as much as possible.
All right, we got time for maybe one or two more. I don't see any other hands raised. Any other questions for Coach? Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Go ahead, Coach.
I was just going to say, I just got a text message. We only have 650 tickets left. So would love any fans that haven't gotten their tickets to please get your tickets today or tomorrow so we can sell out all of our lower bowl seats. So appreciate it, and look forward to seeing everybody Saturday night.